Hi, Room 16. Welcome to week 2 of distance learning. This week and today marks the launch of our Gold Rush reading unit. In class, we were reading about westward expansion, and now we're going to jump into reading about Gold Rush. A great place to start when you're learning a new topic is focusing on vocabulary and learning the words of the topic, the words that the experts would use. So, just like last week, I pulled up a progression, which is what this looks like as you grow through the levels, and it's all focused on vocabulary. Just like last week, I also provided student samples so you could see what this work looks like. So when you go to score your own, you have a very clear picture of what you should be working towards. I'm going to go through this with a little bit more detail than last week because this is a progression we have not seen before. In a level 1, it says, I know learning about a new topic involves learning some new words that are used by experts of that topic. I use these words to teach others. So in a level 1, you know that you're going to be learning new words, and these new words are words that experts, people who know the most about your topic, use. And you try to use those yourself. So an example of a level 1 response might be, wolves are predators and they eat rabbits. Predators is your new vocabulary word that experts on wolves would use to describe wolves. As we move to a level 2 students are doing everything that level 1 students are doing, but they're also keeping track of the new words the text is teaching, the ones that are most important. And I use them to teach others. So you're trying to use these words in when you talk to someone about the topic or when you're writing about the topic. So if you scroll down to student samples, you'll see this student has begun to make a word bank and is keeping track of some of the important vocabulary word on the topic of wolves. So they've got predator, prey, and habitat. And then when they start to do a little summary of what they read, they're incorporating those words because the big part is I use them to teach others. So a level 2 response might sound like wolves are predators that roam large habitats looking for prey, often rabbits. So you can see the jump from here to here. Then as we move to a level 3 again is doing what a level 2 and a level 1 is, but they're focused on the vocabulary that are big ideas of the topic. So let me go ahead and read this. I know that learning about a topic means learning about the vocabulary of that topic. I seek to find words that represent concepts like adaptation or revolution. Those words require a lot of thinking to understand them, so while I read, I keep learning about each concept word. Now, when we're thinking about concepts are big ideas about your topic, and so you're going to be introduced to these ideas over and over again. And there's often books, entire books on these, like the American Revolution or the ways that adaptations of wolves, or entire chapters on these. So these are big concepts, are big ideas, ones that you're introduced to over and over again. And just like this text says, it requires a lot of thinking. So you'll have to do a lot of reading to really understand these big ideas. So, for instance, adaptation, the process where an animal changes in order to be better suited for its habitat, is a concept, a big idea about wolves. So, a student who's a level 3 might write, wolves have many adaptations. They have fur to help keep them warm, and they have teeth and claws to help hunt. And then as we move to a level 4, remember level 3 is where we want you at the end of the year. As we move to a level 4 is doing everything that a level 3 is. But they're doing this across multiple texts. so they're building their understanding as they're reading. And they also try to accumulate more technical vocabulary associated with the topic. So if you scroll down, you can see the concepts they have are adaptation and survival, big ideas about wolves. And then in their response, I want you to notice this technical vocabulary. Wolves have adapted to ensure their survival. They have fur to help insulate them. Insulate is a technical vocabulary. So instead of saying to help keep them warm, that is insulation. So they're using very precise vocabulary to help teach someone about how fur helps them survive. As I continue reading, their claws help them hunt and have better traction on the ice. Another technical vocabulary word, instead of saying so they don't slip. So level fours are very precise about the vocabulary words that they're using to teach. So that's the progression of using vocabulary, both reading it and understanding it and being able to share it with others. So as you scroll down, you'll see that we set it up just like last week. So you will have one book each day that you've read, and then you'll fill in a reflection, and then you'll score yourself based on the rubric. So I read California Gold Rush. I actually didn't read it all. I had started to read it. And then one of the vocabulary words I came across was prospector, someone who searches for a mineral like gold. And I was reading the same section about James Marshall when I discovered this word, because in this section it said he was the first to find gold, and then prospectors started coming to California to find gold for themselves. So I gave myself a 2 by looking back up here, and I noticed that I was keeping track of words. I had started to keep track of words that were new and that experts of Gold Rush would use. So I knew I was higher than a 1. I was definitely a 2. And then when I looked to 3, I don't think that I had there were no entire chapters or books on the word prospector. It really only showed up once in the entire chapter. So I'm really not thinking it's a big idea about Gold Rush. And so I really don't think that this response was a level 3, and that's okay. So I gave it a level 2. Now remember, the reason we're scoring this is because you're giving yourself a goal for tomorrow. So as I read tomorrow, when I start to read my Gold Rush books, I'm going to skim and scan, and I'm looking for big ideas. And once I've found a big idea like migration, I am going to work really hard to try to understand what those words mean and then try to use them in my responses. So as a final reminder, we're reading 45 minutes a day. You can break that up however you want. To help out with Gold Rush reading, in your Epic accounts, we have given 2 different text sets, a Gold Rush text set and a People of the Gold Rush text set for you to look through and read. If you haven't signed up for Epic yet, I resent emails to your parents so you can ask them to check their email. Some of the emails are going into the spam folder, so have your parents check there. They can also email Mrs. Simpson so that we can get you onto Epic. Have a great week of reading, and Miss Connors and I can't wait to follow along, see what you're reading, what vocabulary words you discover, and some of the interesting facts you learn along the way. Happy reading, Room 16.